Naruto, Reborn Prodigy, Master of all Ninjutsu. Episode 11. Naruto also thought that he needed to act a little, but he didn't expect this Mizuki to be so arrogant and straightforward. But also happy, Naruto took a few steps back. It turns out that you lied to me from the beginning, saying that if you have the Book of Seals, you will become stronger, but in fact, you yourself want the scroll? You're right. Only an idiot like you would believe what an adult says. Hee. Besides, a crane tail like you, it is useless to take the Book of Seals. Obedient, give me the Book of Seals. Naruto had a serious expression on his face and called out directly in a loud voice. You don't think I'll give you the Book of Seals? I fell for you once, and I will definitely not be fooled a second time. I will definitely not do anything to betray Konoha village. Mizuki's expression became more and more hideous, and he no longer had the gentle appearance he had before. He held a shuriken in his hand, approached Naruto step by step, and snorted coldly. Since you are so disobedient, then don't blame me for being unkind. Mizuki didn't put Naruto in his eyes at all. After all, he was just a ghost. Thinking that the Book of Seals would soon be his own, Mizuki was thrilled. He had to thank Naruto for stealing the Book of Seals, and the reward he wanted to give Naruto was to let him die quickly and suffer less. Seeing that Mizuki was about to rush up, Naruto had no intention of dodging. Mizuki smiled viciously, too scared to move? Sure enough, the crane tail is the crane tail. Ha. The Book of Seals is mine. The shuriken in his hand attacked Naruto directly. With a bang, the position where Naruto was originally standing, but a cloud of smoke appeared and disappeared instantly. Doppelganger? Mizuki couldn't believe it. Naruto was a crane tail who didn't even pass the graduation exam, and as a result, he didn't realize that it was Naruto's doppelganger who was standing in front of him just now. Don't say that Mizuki couldn't believe it. The dark ninja who had been following Naruto was also full of surprise. He has been following Naruto for so long, could it be that he has been following Naruto doppelganger? How so? Or maybe Naruto learned the multiple shadow doppelganger technique on the Book of Seals, so he ended up fooling his eyes? Despite all the doubts in his heart, he didn't have time to continue thinking about them, and he had to solve the Mizuki in front of him first. Instigating a child to steal the Book of Seals is unforgivable. Fortunately, Naruto still has brains and is not really fooled, otherwise, it will really cause a catastrophe. Damn it. Naruto. Hand over the Book of Seals to me. Mizuki hissed, the words fell, and a masked ninja appeared in front of him. Before that, I'm afraid you'll have to come with me to meet Naruto-sama. Seeing the dark ninja appear, Mizuki's expression was very surprised, and he did not expect that there would be dark department personnel lurking. By the time the dark ninja was dealing with Mizuki, Naruto was already far away, and he didn't bother to deal with Mizuki. From the moment Naruto jumped off the treetops, he used the shadow doppelganger to fool the shadow ninja who was stalking. After all, it didn't feel good to be followed at all. He thought that the dark ninja knew about Mizuki's affairs, and he should not let Mizuki go. On the other side, it was only a few rounds, and Mizuki was directly captured. After all, Mizuki is just a low-level middle ninja, whereas the opponent of the elite ninja of the dark department. At this moment, Iruka, who was anxious, suddenly saw Naruto's figure. Iruka hurriedly ran over, grabbed Naruto's shoulder, and said with a serious face, Naruto. Where else are you going? Naruto turned around and saw Iruka pretending to be surprised. Iruka-sensei, why are you here? Iruka was so angry that his face turned green and he wanted to punch Naruto. Of course, Iruka would not do anything, but shouted angrily, you still ask me why I am here. I'm going to ask you, why did you steal the Book of Seals? Do you know what the Book of Seals is? Naruto said with an innocent look, Iruka-sensei, it was Mizuki-sensei who said that as long as I get the Book of Seals, I will become stronger, and I can graduate successfully, so I took it, but Mizuki-sensei is a villain, I found out. I threw off Mizuki-sensei, and now I am ready to return the Book of Seals. Iruka looked surprised after listening to Naruto's explanation, because today it was Mizuki who informed him that Naruto had stolen the Book of Seals. It turns out that this matter was ordered by Mizuki? So where is Mizukito now? Although Naruto is a child, Iruka believes that Naruto will never lie, and Mizuki actually instigated Naruto to steal the Book of Seals. He is definitely a dangerous person, and he must be arrested. There was a dark ninja dealing with Mizuki-sensei, so I ran away alone. Hearing that there were people in the dark department, Iruka relaxed his heart. Mizuki should not be able to escape. At this time, Iruka looked Naruto up and down again, and said with concern, so are you hurt? Did Mizuki attack you? No, just Mizuki's kind of goods, he can't hurt me. Episode 12. Iruka only felt that Naruto was bragging, with a helpless expression. In the future, you must remember it for a long time, and if someone instigates you to do bad things like stealing, you must not agree. And as long as you practice ninjutsu well, graduation will definitely not be a problem. Forget it, let's not talk about this, now many people are looking for you. All about the world is in chaos, first take you to return the Book of Seals. The theft of the Book of Seals was a big deal, and now Naruto had to be taken to confess his mistake. Naruto did not object, he was originally going to return the Book of Seals, after all, the Book of Seals had no effect on him. After that, he went to the Hokage building with Irika. It was already late at night, but Mion was still sitting in the office. Naruto and Irika walked into the office and directly returned the Book of Seals to Sandaime, telling the ins and outs of the matter. Sandaime glanced at the Book of Seals and did not speak. Seeing this, Irika immediately explained, Naruto-sama, I know that Naruto did something wrong in this matter, but it was mainly seduced by Mizuki's guy, and he didn't mean it, and Naruto is still young, he doesn't have the ability to distinguish right from wrong, and I hope that Naruto-sama can forgive Naruto. The three generations stared at Naruto with a pair of deep eyes, and said slowly, Naruto, do you know what will happen if this Book of Seals falls into the hands of other shinobi villagers? Naruto shook his head innocently, looking like he was waiting to be trained, but he knew that Sandaime would not punish him, after all, he was still just a child in the eyes of Sandai. Sandaime sighed and said seriously, forget it, you are still young and don't understand, but if you want to become a ninja, you can't do anything to betray Konoha village and harm the interests of Konoha village in the first place. If you can't even do this, even if you pass the graduation exam, you are not a real ninja, do you understand? Naruto nodded and replied, understood. Okay, since the Book of Seals has been returned and Mizuki has been captured, this matter will end here, and no more messing around will be allowed in the future. Before Naruto and Irika arrived, someone had already informed the three generations of Hokage about Mizuki's capture. Naruto just snorted, but Irika pressed Naruto's head and bowed to the three generations, thank you Naruto-sama for understanding righteousness. Naruto would definitely not do such a foolish thing in the future. Naruto. Hurry up and say thank you. Although Naruto was reluctant, he still said thank you. Sandaime beckoned, okay, you can go down, the time is not early, go back and rest. So, the two left the Hokage office. The three generations looked at the sealed book on the table, and then at Naruto's back. He saw something different in Naruto, and always felt that this child was a little different from the past. In the past, Naruto looked childish wherever he went. Now he still looked immature, but he vaguely felt that Naruto seemed to have a maturity in his bones that he should not have at his age. Nor is it maturity, or that he has become much quieter. It must be my delusion, maybe I was frightened by Mizuki. The three generations looked darkly. After all, no matter how Naruto looked, he was just a 12-year-old child. As he thought like this, a dark ninja appeared in front of Sandaime, the dark ninja who had been sent to track Naruto before. Naruto-sama, I observed that Naruto directly opened the Book of Seals. Naruto seems to have learned the shadow avatar technique in the Book of Seals, and when I followed him, he fooled my eyes with a doppelganger. As an elite ninja in the dark department, it is really a shame to be deceived by a little fart who is not even a shinobi. In addition, the dark ninja did not think that Naruto was deceiving him by using the doppelganger technique. It should be to deceive Mizuki. He always believed that Naruto must not have discovered his existence. Hearing this, Sandaime was a little surprised, but he didn't expect Naruto to actually learn the shadow avatar. Naruto-sama. Maybe Naruto. The dark ninja originally wanted to say something. It's okay, it's just a shadow doppelganger. Sandaime waved his hand, paused for a moment, and then said, but it's better to find someone to be optimistic about him, and there can't be any mistakes. Yes. The dark ninja responded and immediately disappeared in front of the eyes of the three generations. And Sandaime sat there with his hands crossed, and his eyes became a little serious. Naruto opened the Book of Seals, that is, the chakra in his body had at least reached the upper ninja level, and he had also learned the shadow doppelganger technique in a short period of time. Did it mean that Naruto had a talent? Now that you have learned the shadow avatar technique, what about the other forbidden arts? Thinking of this, Sandaime couldn't help but shake his head, he thought that he might be thinking too much. Episode 13. Naruto was just a 12-year-old child, and even if the Nine-Tails showed some signs of revival in his body, in such a short time, even if he read the Book of Seals once, it should be impossible for Naruto to remember all the forbidden arts above. Unless Naruto has the ability to never forget. However, according to his level of knowledge of Naruto, he did not have this ability. Otherwise, how could it be impossible to complete the graduation exam? I don't know. The current Naruto is no longer the former Naruto, and he really has the ability to never forget. Now the only thought of the three generations is to send someone to keep an eye on Naruto to prevent anything from going wrong with the nine tails in Naruto's body. At this time, Naruto and Irika had already walked out of the Hokage building. Along the way, Iruka kept preaching to Naruto, speaking seriously, as if he were an old mother. If it weren't for the fact that he had lived 2 lifetimes, Naruto would definitely find such nagging very annoying. But now that his mind is very mature, he will not be bored with Iruka's preaching, but he will feel a little warm. Just like in the original book, Naruto has achieved the latter, and a large part of the reason is that he has been recognized by Iruka. With the approval of the first person, Naruto has the future effort and persistence, so a good teacher is very important, and Iruka is one of the good teachers on Naruto's growth path. After all, on the road of life, it is difficult for a person to walk alone, no matter what world. He just nodded silently, waiting for Iruka to stop talking, and Naruto spoke. Iruka-sensei, can I still take the graduation exam now? What do you mean? If I can successfully use the doppelganger technique now, Iruka-sensei should be able to let me pass the graduation exam. Iruka was stunned for a moment, remembering tonight's events. Naruto had some thoughts in his heart because he failed the graduation exam, so he followed Mizuki's words to steal the Book of Seals. This is enough to see that Naruto really wants to graduate. He gently patted Naruto's shoulder with a gentle smile. If you can really successfully use the doppelganger technique, and the doppelganger is normal, I can let you graduate now. Iruka-sensei, is what you said true? Of course it's true, not only for you to graduate, but also for you to eat ramen. Naruto's face showed a 12-year-old smile. This is what Iruka-sensei said, no remorse, absolutely no remorse. Iruka is telling the truth. He hoped more than anyone that Naruto would graduate successfully, and the reason why he was so harsh on Naruto was because he knew how difficult it was to be a ninja. The ninja world is very cruel and life-threatening at any time. If you can't even master the basic doppelganger art but become a ninja, you will only become the prey to be hunted down when you go on missions in the future. Since he was Naruto's teacher, he definitely couldn't do that kind of thing without responsibility. Naruto's hand quickly froze, and he chanted in his mouth, the art of multiple shadow doppelgangers. Bang! I saw 4 Naruto doppelgangers appear behind Naruto. Although it was dark at this time, the street lights were bright, so Iruka could see clearly. He looked a little surprised that Naruto had succeeded in performing the doppelganger technique, and he was still a shadow doppelganger. You must know that at the time of the graduation exam, Naruto's second doppelganger could not stand at all, and it was completely unable to help Naruto improve his combat effectiveness. But now that Naruto's shadow avatars were completely different, and 4 at once, Iruka suddenly realized that Naruto had learned the multiple shadow doppelganger technique on the Book of Seals. The multiple shadow doppelganger technique is not a ninjutsu that any ninja can learn, and it cannot be mastered without reaching the upper ninja level, but as a result, Naruto actually learned it, which is definitely a talent. Iruka-sensei? Can I graduate now? The 5 Naruto spoke at the same time, and their voices were very loud. Iruka came back from his thoughts, his eyes filled with tears, and a reassuring smile appeared on his face. Naruto looked at Iruka. Iruka-sensei? Why are you crying? Iruka hurriedly rubbed his eyes and smiled awkwardly. What do you say? I didn't cry. The wind is too strong and the eyes are in the sand. Actually, it's because of the excitement. So that's the case, so, can I graduate now? Of course, Naruto's mind was not a child, he could understand Iruka, but he didn't poke through it. Iruka took a deep breath and smiled excitedly. Of course. I announce, Naruto Uzumaki successfully passed the graduation exam. A smile appeared on Naruto's face. Fortunately, Naruto has an Iruka by his side, otherwise, even if he is a crosser, he may not be able to take the graduation exam again until next year. It was at this moment that Iruka took the brace directly from his forehead. Then handed it to Naruto. From today, you are also a real ninja. And hope you can keep up the good work. Episode 14. When Iruka handed the brace over, to be honest, Naruto froze a little. After all, many things were different, but Iruka gave his brace to Naruto. It is because of this forehead protection that Naruto will work so hard in the future, and he will implement his ninja path to the end. Thinking back on this, Naruto had a wonderful feeling in his heart, but he couldn't say it. Seeing Naruto's delay in answering, Iruka had a hint of ridicule on his face. What's wrong? Don't want my brace? At first, Naruto tried to wear his forehead brace, but now he doesn't want it. Naruto grinned and reached out to catch the brace. Yes. Of course you want. Thank you, Iruka-sensei. Iruka laughed along and laughed very happily. His big hand went over and rubbed Naruto's hair. It's too late now, I'll treat you to ramen tomorrow. Please continue to work hard in the future. Good. In the dark. 2 figures, one big and one small, walked forward together. Naruto's life in Konoha village was also officially started, and he was recognized by Iruka-sensei that he was already a real ninja. The two went home separately. Inside, Naruto turned on the light and lay down on the single bed. Naruto had lost his parents since he was a child, and all the while, he slept alone in this humble house. Looking at the ceiling, Naruto was thinking of someone in his mind, not Iruka, but the old man of the third generation. Today, I saw the three generations himself, and at first glance, he was a very kind old man. However, Naruto kept the memories of his past life, and to be honest, he really didn't have a good impression of Sandaime. Throughout his life, from his tenure as Hokage until his death, he was the longest reigning Hokage in Konoha's history. However, during his reign, Konoha Hidden Village really decayed. Look at how brilliant the Senju family used to be, originally the pillar family of Konoha Hidden Village, representing the highest combat power of Konoha Village. However, after several ninja battles in a row, the members of the Senju family were sent to the forefront battlefield, almost dead, and in the end, only Senju Tsunade was left to live alone. No matter what, the thousand-hand family with top combat power should not end up like that. In addition, the second largest combat power family in Konoha Village, the Uchiha family, also fell to near extinction. Everyone knows that Uchiha slaughtered the Uchiha family, and the old people and children in the family were all spared. In the end, only one Uchiha Sasuke remained. The reason why Uchiha Itachi chose to slaughter the Uchiha clan, one of the masterminds behind it is Sandaime, and his reason is for the peace of Konoha. On the surface, it is because the Uchiha clan wants to rebel that they will give such an order to the deep righteousness Uchiha Itachi. But in fact, the high level of Konoha, led by the three generations, has suppressed the Uchiha clan for a long time, causing the Uchiha clan to lose their living space, otherwise how could they defect? In the end, I am afraid that it is because the three generations are afraid of the strength of the Uchiha clan, so they try to eliminate the Uchiha clan. You know how strong the strength of the Uchiha family is. If the three generations had not ordered the elimination of the Uchiha clan, when the Great Snake Pill and the Sand Hidden Village invaded Konoha, the Konoha village would have been fully capable of completely countering the invasion of the Great Snake Pill. It's a pity that the Uchiha clan is gone, and the Senju clan is gone, and the combat power of the entire Konoha village has probably been reduced by at least half. Therefore, the battle was fought very hard, and the last three generations of the battle with the Big Snake Pill lost their lives, which can be regarded as some kind of price he paid. The latter situation was completely caused by Sandaime himself, causing him to die. Based on Naruto's perception of things, Sandaime is a jealous and powerful figure, and does not tolerate the existence of characters or families that can threaten his status. If the three generations were not selfish, the Uchiha clan would not have been exterminated. Not only the Uchiha clan, but also the decline of the Senju clan, maybe it is also related to the three generations. After all, as a Hokage, he directs the members of the Senju family to rush to the forefront of the battlefield, and this power is there. It is not known what the truth is about this. Anyway, the three generations definitely do not belong to that kind of person. Take Naruto himself, he is the son of the fourth generation of Hokage, and the fourth generation of Hokage is the apprentice of Jiraiya, and Jiraiya is the apprentice of the third generation. The relationship between this is self-evident. 12 years ago, Shishiro sacrificed himself for Konoha village to seal the nine tails inside Naruto's body, and before he died, Shirdai wanted the village to see his son Naruto as a hero. However, everyone knows that the latter thing is not as good as the fourth generation thinks. Naruto not only did not become a hero, but became the object of disgust of countless people since he was a child. As a result, Naruto became a mischief who liked to play pranks in order to attract everyone's attention and gain everyone's approval. As an insider and the highest power in Konoha village, Mayome could have provided Naruto with a good enough living environment, but he didn't. Episode 15. Even if Naruto's background is not known, it should not happen to be ostracized by the entire village. Naruto is the son of a hero, the son of the fourth Hokage, and no matter what, the third generation should also take good care of it. That said, the only thing that can be explained is that Sandaime does not want Naruto to become a hero, let alone Naruto to be revered by everyone. But he didn't really suppress Naruto, and when he made trouble, he also turned a blind eye. That's where his three generations are smart. Not giving Naruto real privileges, he gave some small favors. Such an approach, for those in the know, he has done a good job, and the uninformed think that his third generation is a good Hokage who cares for his descendants. Maybe this is some prejudice Naruto has against the purpose of the three generations, but this is indeed Naruto's real thoughts. Don't think about this, the main thing now is to prioritize improving his strength, and he must make full use of the chakra provided to him by the Nine Tails. Otherwise, the transaction with the Nine Tails would be in vain. He needed to cultivate the Nine-Tailed Chakra, and he had already memorized those forbidden techniques in the Book of Seals, and he needed to practice more. It definitely doesn't work in Konoha village. He didn't want to be targeted by the high-ranking people in Konoha. If he is found to be able to manipulate the Nine-Tails Chakra, there will definitely be a bunch of troubles, and he needs to hide himself properly at this stage. So he had to go to a place outside of Konoha village to start cultivating. After all, the outside world was more free, and he didn't have to be bound by the constraints of Konoha village. After making the plan, gradually, Naruto fell into sleep. The next day, Naruto got the ninja audit from Irika, and according to the ninja registration process in Konoha village, he needed to do some preparation. After filling out the ninja review form, taking a registration photo, submitting the file to the Naruto building, and after verification and judging, he obtained the status of a real ninja, and the level belongs to the lower ninja. After taking care of these chores, Naruto returned home and fell asleep. At this time, the dark ninja who followed Naruto said to himself, "It's really lazy, I just became a shinobi, and I went home and went straight to sleep." When he complained about Naruto's laziness, he didn't know that Naruto in his sleep was actually just a shadow doppelganger. Since the moment of going out today, Naruto knew that someone was following him, so when filling out the audit information, he took the time to go to the bathroom, used the shadow avatar, and asked the shadow avatar to act for him. Naruto's real body, on the other hand, came to the vicinity of the forest where he met Hinata last night. In order not to make his goal too big, he even changed the regular clothes on his body and hid his forehead. However, before leaving Konoha village, Naruto was going to meet Hinata. This is the ninja world, and going out is not as simple as traveling. Before leaving, he wanted to say hello to Hinata. After all, Hinata likes himself so much, he is his future wife, and he will not snub Hinata. When I arrived at the place where we met last night, I saw Hinata, who she was working hard to cultivate. Hinata practiced alone, appearing to work extra hard. She doesn't like to train at home, there will be a kind of fudan at home, and many times she is alone to find a quiet place to practice. And yesterday she met Naruto here, she didn't go anywhere else, she had an inexplicable weight in her heart. Just as she was training seriously, Naruto's voice came from behind her. Hearing such a familiar voice, Hinata immediately froze, and the movements in his hands also stopped, and a boundless joy welled up in his heart. I saw that as soon as she turned around, she saw Naruto who was looking at her with a smile, and the moment she saw Naruto, Hinata's face instantly turned red. She also remembered what Naruto had said to herself yesterday. Naruto walked forward, a big smile on his face, and he said, "Dear wife, training alone again? Well." Naruto's wife's name made Hinata's face even redder, and she answered very shyly. "Wife, you are the future heir of the Hyuga family, and no one has anyone to point you out." Speaking of this, Hinata's head instantly lowered. Although she was a member of the Hyuga family, she was not liked by her father. Because she's so untalented. Thinking of this, Hinata felt a little stuffy in his heart. Naruto suddenly realized that he had mentioned something that should not be mentioned, and forgot about Hinata's situation at home for a while. He walked up to Hinata and immediately said, "But my wife is so smart, even if no one points out, she will become stronger." "Really? Are you sure?" "Of course it's true, after all, you're my Naruto's wife." Receiving Naruto's encouragement, Hinata was happy in his heart, but Naruto said his wife on the left and his wife on the right, although he felt sweet, but he felt so shy. She could feel a burning feeling on her face, it must be very red, and she didn't dare to look up at Naruto, for fear that Naruto would see her embarrassed and nervous look. Naruto stepped forward and got closer again, looking at Hinata's blushing look. "Why do you blush like this every time you see me? I haven't done anything. In case I kiss you, or do something more intimate, then are you all ripe?" P.S. Convention, ask for a wave of flowers and a wave of evaluation. Episode 16. Hinata blinked, and his whole body stiffened. More. Something more intimate. What more intimate thing? With Naruto-kun. Looking at Hinata's shy appearance, Naruto was in a good mood, and the more he looked at Hinata, the more he liked it, and this feeling of teasing his wife was really good. "Forget it, don't tease you." Naruto returned to his normal look and did not continue to tease her. Hinata couldn't help but exhale, calmed his mood, and looked at Naruto and said softly, "That. Naruto-kun, did you come to me for something?" "It's nothing, just to say goodbye to you." "Dao, goodbye?" Hinata, who was originally in a happy mood, suddenly gave birth to a wisp of loss. Could it be that Naruto-kun was leaving Konoha village because he failed the exam? "Won't you see each other after that?" Although Naruto had passed the graduation exam, Hinata did not know about it yet, so she thought that Naruto had left the village because he had not passed the graduation exam. At this time, Hinata felt a pang of sadness in his heart. Where did Naruto think that Hinata would think so much? He just briefly introduced, "I'm leaving Konoha village, and I don't know when I'll be back, so I'll tell you, but you have to keep this matter secret for me." and you can't tell anyone. Although Naruto explained it well, Hinata only heard the first half of the sentence, and the second half did not hear it at all. Her eyes instantly filled with tears, and she stepped up and grabbed Naruto. Naruto-kun. In my eyes, you are really powerful. Next graduation exam, you can definitely pass. You don't leave Konoha village. What should I do if you leave Konoha village? How about you take me with you? Hinata didn't say the latter sentence. She was embarrassed to say it, and she felt that she was not qualified to say such a thing. Naruto only felt that Hinata seemed a little excited, and she seemed to think too much. But also, Hinata's personality is already very gentle, and she likes him so much, and now saying that she wants to leave Konoha village will inevitably make her think more. Naruto smiled, reached out and stroked her face, and explained seriously, "What's cranky? I only left Konoha village for a short time, and I will come back in the future. How could I leave such a beautiful wife behind?" Hinata was a little stunned, and didn't seem to quite understand what Naruto meant when he spoke. Because he was sad that Naruto was leaving Konoha village, he forgot to be shy when he was held by Naruto's face. This time, Naruto took out the Konoha ninja brace from his pocket and handed it to Hinata, with a smile on his mouth. Moreover, yesterday I already passed the Shinobi exam. Today I have filled in the information. The file has also been put into storage, and I am also a Shinobi. Hinata looked at Naruto with wide eyes. Yesterday it was too dark and some of them couldn't be seen clearly. Now in the broad daylight, when I looked at Hinata again, I found that she looked much more beautiful than in the night. Especially those eyes. Perhaps some people joked that the eyes of the Hyuga family are cataracts. But at this time, Hinata's eyes seem to have a crystal clear beauty, and her eyes will even reflect everything she sees. At this time, Hinata's eyes were only Naruto. There were also a trace of tears in her beautiful eyes, which made her look a little pitiful. After a moment of stunning, Hinata finally reacted, and she smiled excitedly. "Naruto-kun, is what you said true? You also became a shinobi?" Naruto smiled, "Of course, am I like the kind of person who would lie to you when I speak?" Hinata was so happy that he didn't know what to say, and finally threw himself directly into Naruto's arms. "Great! I knew Naruto-kun could. Naruto-kun is so powerful, how can he not graduate?" Feeling Hinata's soft body, Naruto was in a very good mood. With such a cute wife who thinks about herself, life is really beautiful. Naruto patted Hinata on the back, and a bad smile couldn't help but hang on his face. "Why didn't I find you so proactive before? Since you hugged me, do you have to kiss me?" Being reminded by Naruto like this, Hinata remembered that she had hugged Naruto like this, and she quickly left Naruto's arms and took several steps back. She blushed and apologized. "Yes, I'm sorry Naruto-kun. I didn't mean to hold you. I was just. I'm just so happy, so just. Hinata suddenly frothed. She hadn't realized that she had actually hugged Naruto just now. Naruto smiled and put the brace away. "Just kidding you took the initiative to hold me, I like it. If you kiss me, I'll be happier." Of course, Naruto is just addicted to his mouth, and by the way, he teased his wife. After all, according to Hinata's personality, she is definitely embarrassed to take the initiative to kiss herself, and she is too bold now. "Stop talking, I have to go." Naruto snorted. This was within the limits of Konoha village, and he didn't want others to notice his movements. Seeing that Naruto was leaving, Hinata stepped forward and asked urgently, "That Naruto-kun, where will you go?" "I don't know, just don't be in Konoha village anyway." Episode 17, That. So when will Naruto-kun come back? This is not necessarily, depending on the situation. If things go well, I may come back soon. If not, maybe it will take a month or two. Hinata lowered his head, as if calculating the time. A month or two is not a short time. She had wanted to talk to Naruto countless times, but she couldn't muster up the courage. Once Naruto-kun had never seen herself. Even so, she still liked Naruto-kun with all her strength. Now that she had spoken to Naruto-kun, her wish had finally come true. Although Naruto-kun always called her wife to make her shy, she felt extremely happy to be able to talk and get along with Naruto-kun. It finally developed to this point, and then I couldn't see each other for another month or two. In fact, it's going to be lonely. Of course, she was embarrassed to tell Naruto these words. So she had to lower her head and say with a red face, "That Naruto-kun, be careful." "Well, I will." With that, Naruto turned to leave. As a result, he was pulled by Hinata. "That Naruto-kun." Naruto looked back at Hinata and asked, "What's wrong? Anything else?" "That I. Hinata looked nervous and blushed bloodily. "What's wrong with you?" At this time, Hinata swallowed and looked up at Naruto. Just when Naruto was wondering what Hinata was going to say, Hinata leaned in directly and kissed Naruto on the face. It's just that Naruto hasn't properly felt the temperature of Hinata's lips, and the kiss is over. Hinata moves too fast. That, Naruto-kun. I'm waiting for you in Konoha village, to come back. Dropping the words, Hinata ran away shyly, and Naruto didn't even have time to catch her. By the time he came back to his senses, Hinata was already far away. At this time, Naruto couldn't help but laugh. Chasing his wife, he is serious. But it seems that his wife doesn't need to chase, she sent it to the door. Hinata is really a very cute girl. He decided in his heart that he wanted to speed up the pace of cultivation so that he could meet Hinata again sooner. This time Hinata kissed his face, making Naruto start looking forward to the next time. No matter what, Hinata had to speed up the progress a little. It's not him, Naruto beast, the main thing is that his wife is so cute, he wants to bully it. Looking up at the sky, it's almost dusk, so let's leave Konoha now. Naruto stepped up and walked in one direction. Hinata didn't run far when Naruto left, but hid nearby, and she didn't even know where she had the courage to kiss Naruto. If before, she would never have dared to imagine that she would do such a thing. But she really did. She kissed Naruto. Even though she knew that Naruto was gone, she still fell into an incomparably shy heart, but she was shy and happy at the same time. She felt much closer to Naruto-kun. Hinata grabbed the tree trunk next to him with both hands and crouched in the corner. Naruto-kun, I'm waiting for you to come back, so you must be safe. Naruto left Konoha village. All the way through, he passed through another forest, and Naruto didn't care which location this place belonged to. Maybe it had just rained here before, and the ground in the forest seemed a little damp, and you could see several puddles. It wasn't early, and it was getting dark. Naruto was in no hurry to practice immediately, and as he wandered around the forest, he found a tree hole where he could shelter from the wind and rain. I don't know how long I want to stay here. Although cultivation is a must, rest is also a must. Naruto knew that cultivation was a lucky thing, but in his heart, the life he yearned for the most was to eat, drink, have fun, and get along with the people he liked. It's a pity that he is a nine-tailed human pillar force, and sooner or later he will be targeted, and countless troubles will be waiting for him later. So before those troubles happen, he has to give himself the strength to deal with those troubles. Only if he becomes strong enough can he live the life he loves in the Hokage world. That night, Naruto took a good rest and began formal cultivation the next day. Multiple shadow doppelganger technique. With an uproar, Naruto conjured 10 shadow doppelgangers. The sun rises and the moon sets, alternating day and night. More than 10 days passed quickly. In these more than 10 days, Naruto achieved some results. One dusk, the sun gradually set on the western mountain, but as if it was attached to the world, it sprinkled a golden yellow and illuminated the world with gold. At this time, in a corner of the forest, a man covered in red chakra was panting heavily. A Naruto standing in front of him turned into smoke and disappeared with a bang, and upon closer inspection, the person wearing a red chakra was Naruto. The one just now was just a shadow avatar of Naruto. And now, Naruto was completely different from him at ordinary times, only to see that he had fox ears on his head and a tail on the back. And this ear and tail are made of the Nine-Tails Chakra. Episode 18. Naruto's back was slightly bent, his hands showed a claw state, and his eyes carried a touch of killing intent. After a while, he smoothed his breath, stood up straight, and his eyes softened a little. I didn't expect to master Ichigo in such a short time, it seems that my talent is not bad. Naruto felt a little joy in his heart. At this time, he put away the nine-tailed coat on his body and returned to his original appearance. Although he really wanted to practice the awesome ninjutsu of soil rebirth, mutual multiplication detonation talismans, and ghoul sealing, he was in the wild, and there were no corresponding cultivation conditions. Dirt reincarnation requires living sacrifices, mutual detonation charms require detonation charms, and ghoul sealing conditions are more demanding. It can only be said that even if you know so many super ninjutsu, it is not easy to really want to cultivate, and everything needs to be done slowly. However, at this stage, mastering one-tailed transformation, plus a multiple shadow avatar technique, should be enough to deal with many enemies. Touched his stomach. It's not early, let's go find something to eat first. These days, Naruto lived in the forest all the time, and when he was hungry, he either went to pick some wild fruits or went looking for wild beasts and then set up a fire to eat barbecue. This kind of life is not bitter, but it is actually quite interesting. See if there are any rabbits nearby, eating fruit for a few days, and the mouth has faded out of the bird. He muttered to himself, moving through the forest. Although there are other animals in the forest, rabbit meat is the most delicious. And he is only alone, and a rabbit is just enough to eat by himself. If you go hunting a deer or wild boar, it is too big for one person to eat. At this moment, Naruto suddenly heard some movement, and he immediately became alert, and then jumped directly to a high place, hiding his aura and hiding in the shadows to observe. Through the dense foliage, Naruto saw a girl with red hair and beige clothes. Naruto's eyes moved slightly, and he recognized the identity of the girl at a glance. She was Orochimaru's subordinate Tayuya. That is, the 5 people of Otobi, one of the strongest and most heartfelt subordinates of Orochimaru. Of course, she is also one of the many experimental products under the Great Snake Pill. The Big Snake Pill and his subordinates did not have a good experience. At this time, I saw a Konoha village ninja standing in front of Tayuya, and the two were fighting. Tayuya's fingers were linked, and after the seal, he used psychic. With a bang, 3 behemoths appeared in front of Tayuya. A man with long hair covering his face, dressed in green, and holding a huge mace in his hand. A muscular man with eyes covered by a white cloth, only 2 pants of black hair pulled down, no strands of his upper body, only thick bandages wrapped around his wrists, and a pair of dark brown pants underneath. One of the upper bodies and even his face was wrapped in bandages, and the same thick rope as the other 2 was tied around his waist, but in a slightly different direction, and he was also wearing a pair of brown pants underneath. These are the 3 ghosts that come out of many spirits. Tayuya was only a 14-year-old girl, who was originally standing in front of the Konoha ninja. She looked a little petite, and behind her stood 3 behemoths, and Tayuya also looked even more petite. The Konoha ninja saw Tayuya's psychic skills, and his face showed horror. He took a few steps back, as if he wanted to escape. Hee, you can't escape. I saw that Tayuya took out a flute, and she played the magic flute, and it sounded with a hint of demagoguery, which seemed to surround the surroundings. Naruto listened to the sound of the flute and couldn't help frowning. This magic flute rhythm is a little strange. At the same time, the 3 demons behind Tayuya jumped up directly and attacked the Konoha ninja. Damn it. He turned around and tried to escape. However, his speed was not as fast as the speed of the 3 ghosts, and soon he was surrounded by the 3 ghosts. I saw that one of the 3 ghosts holding the mace directly smashed down towards the Konoha ninja. Only a loud boom was heard, and a large pit was smashed out of the ground, and the Konoha ninja directly lost consciousness and had been killed by Tayuya. Naruto saw all this in his eyes and sighed in his heart. This Tayuya ability is really not small. In particular, the magic flute in her hand has a bit of a weird taste, but what makes Naruto wonder is how Tayuya appeared in the Land of Fire. She should be from Oto Ninja Village. Even if Orochimaru wanted to attack Konoha Village, the time should not have come yet. Or rather, let Tayuya go to Sasuke at this time. It doesn't feel likely. Naruto guessed in his heart. He couldn't tell why Tayuya was here at this time, let alone what her purpose was. At this time, Tayuya put away the magic flute, and the 3 demons behind her also disappeared, and it was too easy to deal with a low-level Konoha ninja. She stepped and was about to leave, but Naruto came out of the shadows. Episode 19. Noticing that there was someone behind him, Tayuya took out the magic flute alertly and made a posture that planned to continue fighting. Naruto smiled. Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad person. At this time, Tayuya saw Naruto's face clearly, and his expression was a little disdainful. She also thought that she had encountered a stronger enemy, but she didn't expect it to be a little fart child. Tayuya didn't bother to talk nonsense to Naruto, holding the magic flute in his hand and intending to leave directly. However, Naruto took a step forward. Tayuya, finally met, don't talk about it before leaving? Tayuya's footsteps paused, with a hint of puzzlement on his face. She looked back at Naruto with a hint of surprise. Little ghost, how do you know my name? Not only do I know you, I know your name, I also know that you are one of the 5 people under Orochimaru. As Naruto spoke, he carefully looked at Tayuya. She had red hair, fair skin, and delicate features. Although she pretends to lack girlishness, she has a beautiful appearance and looks very cute at a glance. If you are in Blue Star, change into those clothes of Blue Star, it must be a super beauty. Moreover, she is only 14 years old now, and when she reaches 18, she will be even better. It's just that Tayuya's fate is not very good. She ends up being killed by Temari while helping Orochimaru fight for Sasuke, and she doesn't know if her fate will change because of her appearance. Perhaps because he had been practicing these days, Naruto felt that life seemed a little boring. Now that he saw Tayuya, he had an idea. That is to save this lost girl. The Big Snake Pill is not a good person at all, you better not follow him, he just treats you as a tool, why don't you go with me? Naruto's words made Tayuya even more surprised, and even felt a hint of anger. She frowned and glared angrily at Naruto. Boy, do you know what you're talking about? Of course I know what I'm talking about, you're so beautiful, I just want to save you so that you don't end up in a red face. The corners of Tayuya's mouth twitched. I have never seen such an arrogant person. Although she is a girl and is only 14 years old, she was adopted by Orochimaru since she was a child and has been living in a hellish environment. In her world, there is only killing. And killing is just to keep yourself alive. Gradually, she also liked this feeling. I saw that Tayuya raised the magic flute in his hand, with full killing intent in his eyes. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but I hate you. Today, I'm going to let you die here. Naruto was not afraid at all, but smiled and said, what if you can't get me to die? Except that I am saving you all? Humph. You want to snatch me away from Lord Orochimaru? Then it depends on whether you have this ability. In Tayuya's opinion, Naruto's salvation may be to make her his subordinate and obey his commands. Of course, Naruto definitely did not mean this. Tayuya did not hesitate, and directly used psychic techniques to recruit her 3 ghosts. She was ready to fight quickly, and did not want to entangle with Naruto too much. Seeing this, Naruto was a little excited. Tayuya also wanted to fight, just as he liked. He had already wanted to find someone to practice his hands. And Tayuya is one of the 5 people of Oto Ninja, and he has full skills. Just now, he just watched her deal with that unknown Konoha ninja, and now he wants to personally meet the 3 ghosts who came out of this psychic. It would be even more interesting if you could see the spell seal of Tayuya. Tayuya raised the flute and directly played the piece just now. Naruto joked at Yuya, you are quite good at playing tunes, but just blow it, I'm afraid you can't beat me. When the words fell, I saw a red chakra suddenly gushing out of Naruto's body, and he directly chose Ichigo. Feeling Naruto's raging Nine-Tails Chakra, looking at the faint tail and ears, Tayuya couldn't help but be stunned, and even the song stopped. She muttered, this. What is it? At this time, Naruto's chakra made her feel very oppressive, and even reminded her of the fear of death. Once upon a time, she also crawled out of this fear of death, but that was a long, long time ago. But now, this kid who didn't know where to appear, gave her this sense of threat of death. However, she was only stunned for a moment, and an evil smile appeared on her mouth. Humph, it's quite interesting. However, it must be me who survives. She can't die. I finally survived to this day, and I definitely can't die. Putting away the vibration in her heart, Tayuya directly blew the tune, and the 3 ghosts who were originally behind her suddenly jumped up and stormed towards Naruto. Naruto smiled faintly, although he hadn't fought yet, he could sense it just by his breath. Tayuya was too weak, too weak. Episode 21. Naruto did want to save the girl who had lost her footing, but if she didn't want to be saved by herself, then forget it. He never liked to do things that forced others, and this time he provoked Yuya. It can only be said that Naruto is a little idle and panicked. Watching Naruto play with his weapon, Tayuya was very unhappy. It was her only weapon, and no one had ever played it like this except herself. And at this time, the one who played with his own weapon turned out to be a stinky imp. She gritted her teeth with full killing intent in her eyes. Naruto smiled lightly, don't look at me with that look, I'm a very talkative person. If you really want this flute, as long as you open your mouth, I will definitely return it to you. Would you be so kind? Of course I'm not that kind, and I have to pay a price if I want to return the flute. The corners of Tayuya's mouth twitched slightly, and he said with a hint of anger, humph. Don't you just want me to obey you and make me your slave? Even if I die, I will not become your slave. No, 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 I don't need a slave, I just need one. I need someone to accompany me to relieve my loneliness. Seeing Tayuya's sharp look, Naruto couldn't help but tease again. What? Tayuya's face was dazed and simple. This expression was not feigned, but really, she didn't understand that Naruto was teasing her. And Naruto also discovered that this Tayuya, who can control the 3 ghosts, is essentially an incomparably simple girl. Think about it, since childhood, it has become a test product for the big snake pill, and for human emotions, Doyu only knows how to kill and obey the big snake pill. Naruto only thought it was interesting, and he turned his hand to the flute. It's nothing, just let you accompany me for a day, and on this day you obediently listen to me, and when the day passes, I will return the flute to you and let you go at the same time. Tayuya was stunned, she couldn't believe it. Just so simple? This is completely different from her previous killing experience. If you want to snatch your weapons back in the face of other enemies, you definitely don't just need to obey the other party for a day. But this stinky imp really said that he only needed to listen to him for a day. Tayuya thought for a moment and asked, are you sure I only need to listen to you for a day? Of course, I never lie. At this time, Tayuya couldn't help but fall into deep thought. She originally came to the Land of Fire to seize the Millennium Blood Ginseng for Junmaru's life at the order of Lord Orochimaru, and now that the Millennium Blood Ginseng is already on herself, she needs to go back as soon as possible to regain her life. However, there is still a long way to go back to Oto Ninja Village from here, and without the magic flute in her hand, her combat effectiveness will be greatly reduced, and it will be difficult to fight against the dangers that may occur on the way. If she derelicts her duty and loses the 1,000-year-old blood ginseng, Lord Orochimaru will definitely blame her. After all, Junmaru is Lord Orochimaru's most beloved subordinate. So she couldn't let her weapon fall into Naruto's hand. And now, she is no match for Naruto, and in the end she decides to accept Naruto's terms. After thinking for a moment, Tayuya spoke. Okay, from now on, I'll listen to you in everything, but tomorrow, you have to give me back the flute. Of course. After speaking, Naruto put the flute away. I saw him stretch out his hand. Come here. Although Tayuya was a little reluctant, she still walked towards Naruto. When Tayuya came to him, Naruto directly held Tayuya's small hand. It's really soft hands, it's not at all like a girl who shouts and kills every day. It's not that Naruto has any special ideas, it's just that he just wants to get in touch with the real Tayuya in person, and Tayuya, who has become obedient, has also become much cuter at this moment. However, Tayuya couldn't help but frown. She didn't understand what Naruto meant by her actions. If any hostile person came into contact with her, she must kill the other party. But Naruto was holding her, and she felt puzzled. It's not early, let's spend the day with me in the tree hole today, and tomorrow morning, I'll take you to the nearby town. Tayuya didn't have any opinion, since she had promised Naruto, she would do whatever Naruto wanted her to do. But before that, I was a little hungry. You are so good, you should be able to catch rabbits or something, right? Catching rabbits? How? No, Tayuya hesitated, she felt that Naruto was giving orders to himself. So he immediately responded, yes, how much do you want? Just the two of us can eat. Okay, I'll go now. As if he had become Naruto's subordinate, Tayuya disappeared in front of Naruto in a flash. Naruto didn't worry about Tayuya leaving, after all, her weapon was in her hands, unless she didn't need it anymore. Of course, if Tayuya really decides to go, he will not stop it.